Hi, this is Rachelle at Scrapcraftastic. Welcome to my channel. I am going to show you how to use the manual template to make these traveler's notebook folders. They fit in your notebook like this, so you can just wrap it around an existing notebook or add it to a string by itself. So here, this way you have two pockets that you can use to put things in your notebook and somewhat keep it secure in an envelope. And it can still look good too. Okay, so in order to make this, there are cut files and templates on my website now for micro, personal, and pocket size. I have the standard size ready. I just have not put it on the website. By the time this video is posted, I will try to have the standard size available. These are the manual templates. So if you don't have a digital cutter like a Silhouette or Cricut or some other digital cutter, you can still use the template to make your envelopes. The template files come with JPEGs. These are the manual templates, JPEGs and PDFs, and the actual cut files come in SVG and studio files. So you have a selection of different files that you can use. This is the standard traveler's notebook manual template. It's 2 pages. This is the personal size. It's 1 page. This is the pocket size. It's 1 page. This is the micro. And as you can see, it's the full template. It's not half of the template. So you basically have a choice on how you cut the micro. Because it would all fit on 1 page, I went ahead and did the full template, you can see. So these are half templates. And I'm going to show you what I mean by the half templates. Let's put this aside. So I'm going to use this to make a standard size traveler's notebook insert. And first of all, I need to cut out my template. And when you print your template, it's best to print on a heavyweight paper or even a cardstock. This isn't the heaviest paper, but I'll still be able to show you how to do this. And yep, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut these out and come back. For this little slit, you can use a blade. If you don't have a blade, you can use your scissors. These are the inexpensive scissors that you get around school supply time. And as you can see, they don't open all the way, so you can't use those. But the blade would probably be perfect on those. So I'm just going to use these. And you can either just open that hole up so that you can cut it, or completely cut out the hole with dragging the scissors across it like I started the hole. Either way, it's whatever you feel comfortable with and whichever way you feel you have the most control. I think this is probably the trickiest and hardest part of this template. Most of the edges are actually straight, so you can even use a paper trimmer if you feel comfortable with that for cutting out your template, and even actually cutting out your design paper or whatever paper you choose to use. Let's see. I'm not going to take a lot of time making this perfect. But I want to get it as clean as I can without using a blade, just to show you that you can do this with scissors. And I think that ought to do it for now, since this is basically our template. So now what you need to do is choose your design paper, and I have decided to stick with using the thin paper that you get in the open stock section at Joann or Michael's instead of a heavy paper. It might be better to use a heavy paper for these larger ones, so let's do that. Let's use a cardstock. I'm gonna stick with what I was using. I'm gonna try my Razzle Dazzle since I've pretty much used it all. Let's do the diamond paper, and I want two of the same paper, so we're gonna go with these diamonds. What you have to do, let's figure out what orientation we want our paper to be in. So I want my diamonds to go up and down. So I'm going to fold my paper in half, and we're going to cut. This is the base piece of our folder, of our envelope. So used to making folders. So I'm going to fold that in half. That's my squirt. Give it a good burnish. Okay, then we're going to put our template with the straight edge. This is the base of the template, with the straight edge against the fold, and then trace around the remaining part of the template. So I'm going to go ahead and do my tracing. As you can see, I put my template on as many of the straight edges as I could, so that I don't have to cut those. And we're going to go ahead and trim off the bit that we do need to cut. So now we have the base of our envelope, or envelope. Now I'm going to basically do the same thing. Just make sure my diamonds are going in the same direction for our closure piece, or the back piece, inside piece. Again, I'm going to fold my paper in half. Okay, then I am going to do the same thing. Place my template on the folded edge, the straight edge on the fold. And just trace around. Oops. Making sure my template stays in place. So now that I've traced it, I'm going to make sure my paper is held together well and cut my pieces. Yeah, I think what it is that the thinner paper works better for the smaller envelopes. The heavier paper seems to be okay so far for the larger version. Because I initially, when I was doing my initial test, I made it for a pocket size, and I used a heavy cardstock, and it seems just to be too heavy to me. Okay, this is the hard part. Now, Here, you can do this one of two ways. You might not have the rounded side like I had here. And because that's going to be hard to achieve with such little space. But what I'm going to do is actually use a blade this time around and line this up and just slice through both pieces, making sure that I made it all the way through, and then I just went over. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the other side, trying not to go over. And then I'll just take my scissors and clean that up, snip it, clean it up as needed. So instead of being rounded, it will be more of a square shape. But that is just, you can't achieve everything that a digital cutter can achieve. And of course, I could have just made one slit and it will work. It's just however you want to do that opening. It's totally up to you. Okay, so we're done with our template. Now I need a way to score. In the previous video, I showed how to use your paper trimmer to score. We're going to use the trusty old Martha Stewart scoring board. Okay, so we're going to do these left and right flaps first. And we're going to score at 1/2 inch. We're going to score the other side at 1/2 inch. And the flaps on the standard, these where you tuck the envelope closed, are 1 3/4. I think the others are 2 inches, but because of the size of this, I had to reduce the envelope flap. So it is 1 3/4 on both of those sides. Okay, so I've got my scores done. You can see that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my folding and burnishing. This is going to actually fold this way. Because it's so heavy, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this fits in here properly. Everything gonna fold. Yes. Is that gonna go in there? Yes. Okay. So that is it. And since I used Fabri-Tac the last time, this is Fabri-Tac. I'm going to use this again. I'm still testing this glue just to see how well it works. It's like a rubber cement feel. But it doesn't smell like rubber cement. Okay, so these two are the flaps that we need to adhere this piece to. Let me make sure that my diamonds are going in the correct direction first. That's another thing if you want to pay attention to. If you have a pattern that needs to go in a certain direction, make sure you line everything up the way you want it. So I'm adding my Fabri-Tac kind of in the middle of that. And again, it's kind of why I like the wet glue for this one, because it gives you a little wiggle room, not a lot, but a little, to make sure you get everything lined up the way you need it to be. And I think I got that just about right. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish again to make sure that glue is spread well, especially in those heavy creases. And again, I would probably let this sit before I start doing this, but since I am recording, I'll go ahead and do it. You want to, if you're using a wet glue, make sure you didn't stick your insides together before the glue dries completely. And if you did cut too far, like I did right there, I think I did, yes, you can just put a piece of tape there. I'm thinking it's okay. You can't really see it unless you're looking for it. I just went a little over with the blade, so hey, I'm gonna leave it. But if you do have a problem like that, you can just reinforce it with a tape, and you may want to reinforce this hole completely with tape before you glue it together and before you cut it, and that'll give you a stronger slit. You might want to reinforce this whole area with tape, and that's something I might revisit later to make it a little sturdier. Anyway, so there you have it. This will fit in a standard size. Should fit in a standard size traveler's notebook like this. Let's see if we have some room in here. Yep, so that's it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below and I will try to answer. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.